Hey team, Master Schiele here. Let's talk about black belt. I want to talk about your black belt. I want to discuss time frame. I want to discuss what it means. I want to just give you my point of view of what it is all about. If you've not yet, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, all that great stuff. It'll keep me sending this information to you. And of course, I would truly appreciate it. With that, let's get started. So, time frame of a black belt. Well, let's discuss that first because every art has a different time frame. Remember that it could average anywhere from 4 to 10 years to become a black belt. So it really depends on the art. But the idea is there's a time that it takes to at least get to that point, right? So there's an average time. Of course, not everyone makes that time, but there's an average time that it takes to become a black belt in your art. Now, what does it really mean to be a black belt? Being a black belt means that you are taking that first step to becoming an expert. Remember, the first step on the mats is a huge accomplishment because most people don't take that step. It's very intimidating. It's very hard to do that. So when you take that first step, that's a huge accomplishment by itself. But becoming a black belt means that you've put the time in, you've put the effort in, you've really have a base understanding of the art and everything that happens at that colored belt point of view. When you become a black belt, now you're starting to look at it from a different lens. You're starting to say, wow, okay, things are really starting to come together for me. That's why we're really big on making sure that when somebody becomes a black belt, they don't think they're everything at that point because, well, it's really the training that happens after your black belt that makes you an expert in it. It's a great marking point. It's a huge success, but truly, it's what happens after that black belt that really makes you great. That's the truth. And ask any black belt that is an active black belt in the art, they will tell you the same thing. Now, I want you to understand something. When somebody gets a black belt, they become that black belt. They work hard on that black belt. But there's somebody behind them that entire time. That's their instructor. Their instructor, when they put them up to get that black belt, mean that they stand behind them. So when I have a student that's receiving their black belt, myself as well as my team, we are all standing behind that person, that individual, and saying, yes, we believe they deserve that black belt. We're signing off on that black belt. We're saying, yes, this is the next generation, and we're truly honored to let you be a part of that very exclusive club. That's what a black belt's all about. So sometimes we think, okay, yes, I put my time and I put this. Well, no, there always has to be somebody in your corner that's saying, yes, you have this, or no, you're not there yet. The truth is, if I have a student that's not there yet, I won't let them go because I think that is the bigger picture. They have to understand there's so much behind that. I ask my students a lot, what is a black belt about? And that we hear, good spirit, good attitude. But at the end of the day, it's about the art. It's about if everyone in the art except you, let's say you're a black belt, disappeared. It will be up to you to keep the traditions, culture, and the martial art alive and pass it on to the next generation. That's that responsibility that a black belt takes. So what happens is when you're a black belt, there's a bigger picture. It means that you are really part of the inside of the school. That means that, yes, I feel very honored. It's a privilege to be a black belt. And again, it's the training that happens after. Remember, when you become a black belt, part of that too, and if you've ever watched my other videos, we talk about the one hand washes the other hand. How a black belt will, on purpose, team up with a color belt, and what they do is they help that color belt with their skills. The color belt learns the skills from that black belt, but the black belt is reinforcing their skills for themselves because they're teaching it to that color belt. It's the one hand washes the other hand. So black belt's important because it really encapsulates all of that, right? It makes sure that, yes, I have everything in the art right there. Now, let's talk about something too. What happens when you receive a black belt and we start to just kind of plateau and ride that wave? First off, I want to say that I think it's a huge accomplishment when somebody receives their black belt and they continue their training. We expect it, obviously, but everyone has different points of view on where they are with their life, etc. So yes, we do expect somebody to get their black belt to continue their training. However, what really happens is everyone has their own journey of that. Now, let's say somebody gets their black belt and they just go to class, Well, the truth is you're never spiking, right? You're never getting those peaks and valleys in your training. So how do you get those peaks and valleys? Well, one thing is competition. Competition will force you to be the best version of yourself. When you compete, you know you have pressure to become great. You want to win. You want to become better than the person next to you, right? But the truth is, you're trying to become the best version of yourself through that process, right? So there's a peak you can do. Well, how about consistent testing, right? So in our system of Taekwondo, we have consistent testing that happens after your black belt in between your degrees. We do have videos on that. Just check it out on my page. Call it different things, call it a lot of different subjects. But what happens is the testing after your black belt will really help you get another peak. Well, how about this? What about making sure that you put some pressure on yourself? What are you taking out of the art? Maybe you're going to class, but I think there's a true pressure too when you go to class and you say, yes, I want to help somebody else. There's another peak we can do, right? So just kind of going to class and riding that wave of just going to class is not enough to get you to the next levels of black belt. It's great, you're still training, that's an awesome thing, but we have to see those peaks. We have to get those peaks, and that's why we do promote competition, testing, as well as helping other students. With all three of those are really something that I feel personally will help you become the best black belt and the best version of yourself. So that's kind of how that goes. Team, I want to kind of wrap this video up and say, you know, when you become a black belt, it is a big deal. Truly, and I've done the numbers, about worldwide, okay, we got to be an average because there's different arts, different time frames, but only about 5% of people actually become a black belt. So becoming a black belt is a huge deal, but remember, it's becoming a black belt. It's not getting your black belt. I can give you a black belt any day, but becoming that black belt is a state of mind. It means that you are really holding yourself to a high value, not only as a person and as an individual, but as a martial artist. You know, whenever I watch a fight scene on a movie, I like to rip it apart a little bit in my mind. I like to say, I like this, I don't like this, this is practical, this is not practical. Just something I like to do as a little fun side note. But you know, that's me being a black belt. That's part of it, right? When you're a black belt, you get it. If you know what I'm talking about, you understand when you watch a movie like that, you're on the same page as me. Team, I hope this video was helpful. I hope there was some great content in there for you. Please, if you've not yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and you know, talk about that. Let's talk in the below. Hit me a little comment. You know, what does a black belt mean to you? Let's keep it nice. Let's keep it friendly for everybody. But I'd love to hear from you. I will see you, team, in the next video. Take care.